Hi, I'm Linda Hamilton, and welcome back to Balancing Acts. We're going to talk to Karen about finding a business advisor or a coach and how you would go about doing that. Sometimes working one on one with someone can really make a difference, especially as you're trying to grow. If you think of a coach and athletes, it's about performance, right? Improving your performance. And an advisor can be a little bit different than that. So, Karen, how do you know when it's time to actually seek a coach or an advisor instead of taking a class or reading a book?
Well, back to that time management topic, right? We if you simply don't have the time to learn the topic, or you need help both learning the topic and applying it to your unique situation, then I think it's time to seek out an advisor who can work one on one with you. Even the idea that you're like, okay, I've got a project that has to get done. I must have this knowledge relatively quickly, and I must figure out how to apply it. Um, then hiring an advisor or a coach is a really smart move. The difference I see between an advisor and a coach is an advisor is going to be working with you around data and knowledge and wisdom and action planning. A coach is going to help you with your performance as a business owner. Where are you holding yourself back? How to think strategically about the big picture, and more what we might consider soft skills, but really crucial skills for a business owner.
Right. And how do they go about finding a coach?
All right. So the first thing I think is if you're looking for someone who's going to be a mentor to you, that you want to start with their experience level and their knowledge level. I mean, have they done what you're trying to do? So say you're trying to, build your restaurant, have they built restaurants? If you're trying to build your law practice, have they built their law practice? It just helps to know whether they have been able to do the things that you're trying to do. Um, the other thing I think it's really important to find out is do they have extensive training, and are they keeping up to date with the information? I mean, we talked about this concept of information overload. If you're overloaded with information, then you want to tap into the knowledge of someone who is paying attention to what's current on a topic. So, are they a lifelong learner, and are they keeping up with things, and what is their knowledge base? And then the other thing I look at is I think how long have they been a consultant? So a consultant who's been helping other business owners for, I don't know, 10 or 15 years, they come not only with knowledge, but they come with wisdom because they have worked through with hundreds of other businesses. And that's not something you can learn from a book. So I think that it's really helpful to understand their background and where they're coming from. The other thing, of course, is you want to be looking for someone who works with a business of your size. So if you're a restaurant owner and you have a staff of 12, then a top 10 business consulting firm may not be a good fit for you. Um, and it might be better to look for a small business consultant or a small business coach who specializes in working with micro businesses. Sometimes maybe you want a specialist consultant, say someone who only works with restaurants. Or let's just say you're getting ready to retire and sell your restaurant. Then you want to work with someone who specializes in exit planning and preparing a business to be sold. So you could be a restaurant owner, but have different problems and different goals and different changes you're trying to make, and you might seek out an advisor based on that. Sometimes you do need a generalist. You might want to really cover a lot of topics around your business, and so you look for a business consultant or a coach as a full range of business experience, and can mentor you through all the different aspects of your business, everything from working with your audience to product development to marketing and branding to sales to back office to finances. If you're looking for help in a lot of areas, a generalist might be the right answer for you. Um, if if the person that you're looking at teaches or speaks or writes, maybe they do a blog or they have a video channel or a podcast, or they speaking at conferences or anything like that. Not only does that show their knowledge level, right? They're being invited to speak at places, but you can through their writing and their speaking, you can tell if their style matches yours. So, maybe you go to a class with someone or you read their blog. You're like, I really like the way they think. I like the way they communicate. I think this might be a good fit. Of course, no matter what you do, always have that initial consultation with a prospective consultant and discuss your unique situation and see if you're a good fit. Even if they're the number one expert in their field on a topic, if you can't communicate with them well, or if your personalities clash, then you need to look for another consultant.
Exactly. You know, a lot of the things we want to talk about on balancing acts is not just bringing experts and consultants, but actually to talk about business owners. There's something about having experience as a business owner that can really add to your ability to work. Both of us are business owners with decades of experience. Think back when you started your firm and you've owned a number of companies. When did you use a coach? How did it make a difference in your business?
Oh, amazing. I mean, I can remember my very first coach. In fact, I'm still friends with them on Facebook, which is funny. Um, I was new and I was just getting started and I didn't know the business. My very, very first business was a photography studio. And I had teachers who were teaching me how to be a photographer, but I needed a business mentor, not a photography skills mentor, right? And so I did find someone through our local photography association, and I work with them, and they helped me think through not only the big picture of what I was trying to create, how long they thought it would take for me to get there, but then we dug down to the nitty gritty of marketing and how to run the studio and how to be efficient in the production of photography. Way back when we had print photography, remember those days? Um, and it was eye opening because they totally cut the learning curve for me. If I would have stumbled in the dark and hit a million brick walls, if it wasn't for them telling me, here's what's going to happen if you do that. And, is that really the path you want to go down? I was like, oh, didn't know that because I was brand new. I didn't know anything. So it was an amazing opportunity. And even, all these years later, I still tap into mentors and coaches and advisors when I'm in a very specific situation. I need some help.
Right. And I think the key thing you just said is cut the learning curve. Right. We want to grow our businesses, which means we need to bring in more revenue. And advisors work a little differently than coaches. You kind of have to decide what you need in terms of cutting your learning curve. If you're trying to bring in money faster and you're trying to balance cash flow, profitability, different kinds of coaches or advisors would work with you. I personally have worked, I run an accounting firm, so have decades of experience in running an accounting firm. But as an expert, I'm focused on the whole of a business because your business is about everything. It's not just about your accounting, and all those pieces of the puzzle have to fit together. My last question would be, do all business advisors work in the same way?
They don't, of course. So, when you're looking to hire a business advisor or a coach or a mentor, they might have programs set up like, this is the way that I work with people, but it helps to understand a little bit about what that range can look like. So, some of them work in what I would consider almost like a per project basis. Um, you have a specific goal that you're working toward and you work together with them to complete that goal, and they will typically give you an estimate in advance about how much time that will take. And this is really great if you have a specific need, like figuring out your social media marketing strategy or designing an exit plan for your business. It's great to work with someone who says, okay, we know exactly what your goal is, let's get there. Some are more like mentors or coaches. They're really there more for the long term for you to really help you think through things, sometimes on a daily basis if that's what you need, but someone you can tap into. And so sometimes they work on a monthly retainer basis. Maybe you have a scheduled meeting once a week, like every Monday morning at 9, you meet with your coach. Or sometimes it's just as needed. They're on call for you during that month. And this is really helpful. If you have a lot of topics that you want to cover, or you want that ongoing mentoring relationship, or you've got a lot of different things that come up, like there's a lot of fires to put out all the time and things change rapidly, then you might want to think about using somebody on a retainer basis. And then some work on a what I'm going to call a session basis. And so whether it's a 2-hour session that helps you um, think through some strategic uh, ideas around like your next product launch, just someone to brainstorm with for a couple hours, or maybe a full day intensive. Say you want to work out your goals for the next year and your action plan for the next year. You can often work with advisors on that, what I would consider a session basis. Of course, there are a lot of variations on the theme. So when you speak with the prospective consultant that you're considering hiring, ask them about the different ways that they work and what their fees are.
Thank you, Karen, for sharing your insights today. How can people find you?
You can reach me at my website, passionforbusiness.com, and you can learn about mastermind groups and how to start and run them at thesuccessalliance.com.
Thank you. I often go to Karen's website. She has a wealth of information for business owners about mastermind groups, and it's a great place to start when you're searching for mastermind groups. I hope you'll come back for our next show when we bring you another insightful session with lots of tips for balancing work, life, and finance.
This has been a Now Media Networks feature presentation. All rights reserved.